was just going to lose another.
I don't. Yeah.
I get hung up.
No, I just don't hike a lot, especially in the wintertime when you can go get glide.
Well, you have your sports, though. You're the skier, kayaker extraordinaire. And, of course, you work at a great place for all that, Great Glen Trails Outdoor Center, which is right up in Pinkham Notch. And so you guys are raring to go, and you are going with some great snow conditions.
Yep. I was just talking about this with a friend last night, how the alpine skiing, can be ups and downs with the different precipitation, but it doesn't matter what you get. Usually cross-country is going to be able to be groomed out and good and just easy exercise.
It's a wonderful exercise, and a lot of people, for some reason, they think it's a hard thing to do. And you can go to Great Glen, get totally set up. If you don't want to purchase, you can rent, and you get sent out with an instructor who's going to show you how just to get some good glide, some good kick, and have a great time out there. And describe for a beginner, where would you send them for the first time out?
I'd send them into a 10 o'clock lesson, like you said.
There you go.
And there's great lesson packages. If folks just want to give it a whirl themselves, today would be a good day because it's soft snow after the precipitation yesterday. We've got some really flat, easy field areas. It's super family friendly. You can bring a baby and tow them around in a little carriage we have. Your kids can try snowshoeing. Once you buy a trail pass up there, the ticket can be used for skiing, snowshoeing, and tubing that day. So there's some value. And the
tubing's right down there in the hill, and it's beautiful. Yep. I love it because I've done quite a bit of shooting up there, and every time I go up there, I'm like, I want to come up here every day because it's right at the foot of Mount Washington. The trail system is just gorgeous. You can really get out there. For the more experienced skiers, you can really find some awesome terrain.
Yep. Yeah, the design of the trails is such that they just roll and dip and duck, and you can get lost out there even though it's a pretty tight network.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. So let's get to, we mentioned that you can rent gear, but you can also buy gear. The outfitter shop is open.
For sure, yeah, and we've got a great reputation with our staff up there. They've just been there for so long and know the gear inside out and can just work with you and customize everything from a sock fit to a high-end skate package.
And they love the sport, which helps, because if you walk into some generic store, they were not going to put you in the right gear, and the right gear in this sport is so important. So you actually brought some samples of some stuff. You want to tell me what you brought?
Yeah, I'm going to go for a little skate ski right after this.
You are?
Yeah.
Excellent.
So I just brought a skate boot and a ski that's mounted up. They're both Solomon products. I just wanted to talk about the binding connection more than anything for folks that maybe haven't even heard of skate skiing.
Right. Well, what would you? Is that a beginner sport as well? Can you do that, or would you recommend a classic?
If folks have a lot of alpine ski background, they can usually get right into skate skiing because they're used to skate skiing to the lifts.
Right.
If you've never been skiing before, usually you start with some touring and then evolve. But there's a lot of folks that are cyclists or runners and just looking for winter fitness. All they've got is an hour to work out, and skate skiing gives you quite a workout.
You would say more than a classic if you're really going for it?
Oh yeah, yep. Just you can cover more terrain, and it's just tends to be a little more aerobic. Yep.
Okay. And is there a certain size of ski that you need to start out with? Is it like to the chin, to the forehead, or does it depend on the skier?
It's the skier. The ski really cares about how much weight is being put on it.
Okay.
And skis these days can be pretty specific on who skis on that ski and for what conditions and stuff. So that's why we recommend that folks go to like a shop like ours, a small specialty retailer that can really fit you, not a big box where you're going to punch a button online and say, send me the medium.
Right.
So it's important to get the good stuff. If you get fit incorrectly, you might not have as much fun. Then you're not going to go, and then you just...
And it's going to sit in the closet. So tell me about this binding system. Is it easy in, easy out?
Very much so. This is the pilot system. It's been around for almost 15 years now. In skate skiing, and been around in classic skiing for about 6.
Okay.
So the things we're going to talk about are also, you're able to take advantage of those in touring as well. So there's a 2-bar system, and these are in our rental boots too. We switch out our rental gear every year, so we have like the best product possible for people. These 2 bars go right into the ski here, toe first, and then when you step down, you engage the second hinge right here.
Oh yeah.
So that the ski is always lined up right underneath your foot. They've got a ridge here anyways that your heel would touch when you're gliding. But after you push off, the ski rebounds really fast and back underneath your foot.
So it
helps a lot with control.
Okay.
And it also helps to keep the tip off the snow.
That reminds me of like sort of the randonnée type things, for the downhillers that you unclick your heel to go up, but it allows.
Yep, they would have some kind of fixture in the back, probably.
But they release that to go uphill, and then down here you click in. But this having that extra plate, that extra attachment, really reminds me of that, because it is going to keep that ski a little bit more in line with your boot.
Definitely, because when you push off in the skate motion, you're not pushing off on a flat ski, you're usually edging. And so it's really important to have the boot always in line with the ski to direct pressure.
Wonderful.
Obviously,
I like that.
It's a good looking system right there. Solomon, Solomon, Solomon.
Yeah, they're loving you right now. So how would you get out of this setup if you then want to go for lunch in the cafe?
Whether it's a touring binding or this skate binding specifically right here, it's pretty simple. You just lift up here, lift up your toe, and step out.
And the big question is, can you apres in these?
In this boot, all day long.
Excellent.
We actually sell now this little plastic Lego-looking thing that fills the gap between the two pins here, so that you don't wear out your boot, and so when you're walking around in fresh snow, you don't get that clog.
Really?
You know, after fresh snow, you're always trying to clean out your toe, but now there's an instrument for $10 that you can stick right in there, and keeps your boot clean.
Also good for dancing. Not recommended, by the way. The locals tip: do not wear your ski boots out.
But it's you know, it's not all hard goods up there. We've got quite a lot of
well, when I was
really
up there coming into the season, you guys have the most rocking selection of hats I've ever seen. I mean, it was just towers and towers of hats, which is one of my favorite things.
We've seen folks from other ski shops up there just kind of peeking around and looking at what we have.
The gorgeous selection up there. What kind of hats do you carry?
Oh boy, so we've got some Swicks. we try to pull in hats with every sort of outfit that we do.
Right.
So we're going to have hats that go with Swicks coats and craft coats and whatever, smart wool. So we've got all those hats.
So you can be super coordinated.
Turtle Fur has a pretty diverse hat selection. All kinds of different stuff, from like what looks like Tibetan hats to really thin beanies and race hats that would cross over to cycling.
Right. Well, talking about clothing a little bit more in depth, cross country ski is a little bit different than a lot of the other winter sports, because you can sweat your butt off, and so you need to layer a little bit different than you would if you're going alpine. What would be your suggestion for today? What should people show up to Great Glen wearing? And then,
well, you sort of dress for 5 or 10 minutes into the workout.
Okay.
You know, you're not going to start out with a max heart rate, or you know how you would perspirate. So today, I'd say pretty thin base layer.
Okay.
And
so like a bergline or polypropylene.
In a mid to lightweight jacket.
Really, that's it.
I mean, if you're just going to go, if you're going to snowshoe or tour and stand out in the breeze for a little bit, maybe something that has some windproofing. But it's not. I don't think it's going to be a 3-layer day today.
Okay. And what about on the feet? What should they wear on the feet?
Just some kind of sock that's going to wick well.
Thick, thin, medium?
It depends on their gear. I mean, you people usually know their feet pretty well, and feet can be, you know, an iffy thing, and definitely case by case. But, you know, with any kind of new boot, they're all insulated very well with Insulate, especially some of the touring boots these days, and backcountry boots that we sell have so much insulation and padding that a thin to mid-weight sock is going to be just fine.
Okay.
You know, you just, especially with socks at base layers, obviously try to stay away from the cotton.
Right. Okay.
On a day when it's 40, you're not going to go out there and freeze, but you're just going to be more comfortable with something that pulls all that sweat away.
Okay, and I noticed there's actually some plastic on this boot. Do touring boots now have plastic too, or is that basically a skate design?
Well, for quite a while, people have figured out that the higher up the boot is, without going too high, you can get some support out of that and help your ankle drive you for climbing and turning and stuff. So yeah, you're going to see smaller cuffs than this for classic. For touring and for backcountry, it would almost look like this. This is a pretty sleek little skate boot, but just it's important to have good heel support too right here. Okay.
All right, good. So did we catch everything in the shop? What else can they expect to see in there? You have the soft goods, you have the outerwear, the hats, the gloves, pretty much you could show up naked, not that we're recommending that, but you can show up with not a thing of cross-country gear and pick it all up at the Outfitter shop.
Yep, totally. And a lot of it, the big thing is that it crosses over to other sports that you do. You know, when you see a $50, $60, $70 top that's, you know, it's going to produce for the next 10 years, you're going to use it in everything you do. So it's totally worth it. And,
okay, good.
And even if you're just kind of on the fence on some of this stuff, no matter where you are, just try it on, because it normally fits and looks better on than standing on some stale rack.
Right, absolutely. All right, good. So what are your hours for the shop?
8:30 to 4. We'll go to 4:30 later on in February, but right now 8:30 to 4, same as the touring center.
Okay.
And tons of activities all the time. We've got a
Yes.
couple of cool events. People should check out the website for that. Ski with a Naturalist is tomorrow. That's a 10:30 free ski with our AMC naturalist. You just have to have a ticket, and she takes you out and does some tracking and stuff. She's very, very good.
Is that on skis or snowshoes?
On skis. Yep.
Okay, good. And you do allow snowshoeing on some of the trails, most of the trails? What's the...
All the trails are snowshoe friendly. We have some that are kind of more snowshoe-esque, where you're walking through the woods and you're not going to see any skiers.
Okay, and the tubing hill is you walk your own tube up?
Yep, we have the tubes there. You pay your $15 for the day, so that's pretty good. And you can tube out there all day long.
And it is a great location as well. So Nate, thanks so much for joining us. I know you're heading out for a ski, so I shouldn't hold you up. It looks like a gorgeous day out there.
You know, looking at the views and talking about the summit of Mount Washington and everything, we should just kind of touch on the snow coach too. And that's the tracked vehicle that goes up the Mount Washington Auto Road to about tree line for some incredible views. And if you're not going to go out and ski or tube, you know, you want to kind of stay dressed up and have fun with it, then you can go outside and get some great views with the snow coach.
Oh, the snow coach is awesome. And how does that setup work? Do they just show up? Do they have to call ahead reservations? Because it is a weather dependent.
Yep, with any weather-dependent activity, I would always call ahead just to make sure, you know, it's a beautiful drive, but it's 20 minutes out of town here.
Right.
So call ahead, make sure it's running, make sure there's room. It does operate between 9 and 3, and it is based on demand. So we might have a 2:30 trip that goes out that would negate anything after that. So,
okay.
But you're seeing some stuff on the screen right now, I think.
Yep, of the website.
Yep. And so right there is some views that you're going to get, and you're feeling like you're on top of the mountains there.
Right, and if you're not physically able to do it yourself, you know, through the trail system, then the snow coach is a great way to really experience that backcountry feel.
And it's also, once you buy a snowshoe or a snow coach ticket, you can snowshoe back down the road for free. So if you want to, you know, get out and get some exercise on a warm day like today, you could do it.
Wow, that sounds like a great day. All right, well, Nate, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you coming down, and enjoy your ski today.
Thanks a lot.
All right, folks, we'll be back. We have more, including another look at the weather forecast for the Mount Washington.